we need to get back to this, and I hope this right here inspires a lot of people. Good morning, beautiful people. It's a nice crisp morning. We had a light frost last night, which is kind of a bummer for anything we've planted out, but we haven't planted the warm stuff yet. Peppers and tomatoes, those will go out in a week or two. So this is my morning inspection. When I come out here and I feed these pigs while they are busy, I tend to look at the back end. I want to see if there's any noticeable change, see if these two are pregnant yet. I mean, you can kind of tell once you know what to look for when your pigs are breeding. I'm not going to share TMI, but looks like one of them might be getting bred again, which means she's coming back into heat, which is kind of a bummer, but I'll keep watching them. I'll check back later, maybe tonight, and see if anything's changed, see if the other one comes into heat. These ones were born here on this property. We bought their mama. She was already bred. And so they were born here, they've grown up here, they've spent, they're 2 years old now. It'd be really cool to, do this part of it here. We've never done it. Seeing the whole birthing part down here, it's pretty cool. It's really cool to have animals born here, but to watch the whole process take place here, it's like, okay, I'm learning what to look for. For the most part, it looks like you just turn the boar loose and let him do his job, and once you know they're pregnant, we'll probably separate him out because from what we've heard and what we've seen and stuff like that, they will actually headbutt the females and get them to miscarry. So once the females are pregnant, you get them away from the boar so they can carry those babies. All right, back to chores. All right, chores are done, breakfast is done, and it looks like you have collected a nice supply of road snacks in case we are out longer than we mean to be.
Yep.
Today we are going up yonder into the hills to visit Justin Metcalf. We'll introduce you guys when we get there. Very interesting stuff this guy does. Yeah. He's a millwright, and he's got a special project he's working on that I've been a part of. We will hop in the car and we're gonna get on the road. We'll explain more when we get up there. We have made it up here to Justin's place, and I feel like I'm in hog heaven out here. There is equipment out here everywhere. So what Justin does is he's a millwright. He actually takes old mills, I'll show you some stuff right now, and he restores them the old school way, the way that used to be done all the time, that nobody knows how to do anymore. Really cool stuff all around here. In case anybody doesn't know, Justin, that's Billy. He lives down the street, so might as well have him in here.
That's right.
All right, so I'm a machinist. I've been a metal worker for a long time, and you happen to need a metal worker.
I did, yeah.
I have a lathe and little mill and stuff like that. So you got with me, and you needed a shaft and like a collar and stuff like that. We're gonna go in here and see why, what for, all that. So why don't you show me this crazy invention? So what is this?
This is a dream I've had for a lot of years, and what it is, it's a stone grain mill. And unlike the ones outside you've seen, the stones in those are vertical, which the stones stand up on their edge, and you'll have a runner stone that turns against a bed stone that does not turn. But this is more like the original old style, like in the old water mills and all that kind of thing. This is how it would have been done, but on a larger scale. But the way this works, the top stone is the one that rotates, it's a runner stone, and the bottom stone is the bed stone. And you can run these at much slower RPMs than you can the vertical type, and you'll get a better product out of them because of the slow RPMs. You don't get as much heat. You don't bake your bread before it comes out of the mill.
Yeah. And
lose a bunch of the nutritious value and all that.
Coming out and actually seeing it all together. I kind of started with like a little scribble of, hey, can you make this? And seeing it like this is what I love about being a machinist, is like making a part and then getting to see the assembled product. This is really cool.
Sitting at your kitchen table,
yeah.
Scratched it out. It'll have a wooden vat that covers the stones, and then the hopper and the shoe will be up here, which you pour the grain in the hopper and it feeds down into the mill stone. And there'll be a spout where it comes out on the bottom to catch the product after it's milled.
This is cool, and I like your stand you have. This is actually a work of art in itself too. That's beautiful.
I've thought about this over the last 10 years. I've had a lot of time to think about exactly how I wanted it to be, and it's coming together like I had thought, just
that's good.
A lot of thinking. I mean, I'd go for a couple of years and then I'd think, well, that's how I want to do that.
Why this size and why this way?
I've always just loved the original style of the horizontal stones, and like I was saying, you get a much better product because you run them slower. And also the small size. You can buy small size grain mills now, but they don't work like this.
Right.
This one's going to be versatile. You can run this thing off of an electric motor. You can run it off your tractor PTO. You can run it off an engine, a water wheel. It's unlimited as what power source you can use to operate this mill.
That's crazy. Like, that's awesome.
Nothing like this offered right now, how I'm doing it and what it's going to do. This is going to produce a stone milled grain product, and if you've never had it, it's the best thing you've ever put in your mouth. The way the stones work, they shear the grain, and there's nothing else that does it quite like that. And you can do anything from cracking grain for scratch feed for chickens all the way down to milling fine flour. So a bunch of different grains, any free-flowing grain, from corn, wheat, barley, anything, all the way down to rice. Anything. I'm pretty positive we're going to try some rice when this thing's done and see how it works. I've had a lot of interest. A lot of people are excited about this, and they want a grain mill of their own to use. I had some friends kind of suggest I need to do a Kickstarter to get this project going. And I was a little reluctant at first, but the more I thought about it and the more I talk with folks, and folks are interested in this. Mm-hmm. They want to help. They're excited about it.
Yeah.
And it made me feel good because this is a dream I've had for a long time to build this thing right here. And when somebody else gets excited about your dream, it means a lot to you.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
And so we got that Kickstarter going to help, and what that's going to do is just make these meals available a lot faster to folks, rather if I do it all on my own by myself.
To buy something like this for yourself, unless you're doing a lot of grain, you could probably justify it.
Right.
But something like this, if you have a community of people who are interested in, hey, let's everybody grow our own grain, which there's a lot of people we know that are very into growing their own food. So this is one of the pieces of the puzzle that when we met and we started talking about it, I was like, this is like right up our alley.
I grew up listening to stories from my family about the community grain mill, and everybody went to the grain mill. It was a real hub of a community. And if folks wanted to collaborate and get a meal and everybody have access to it, I think that would be great.
That'd be great.
That would be awesome. We need to get back to this, and I hope this right here inspires a lot of people, even if they buy a little countertop grain mill. Just
start grinding your own.
Exactly.
All right, so we're gonna shell some corn.
Yep.
I think we're gonna grind some corn.
Ooh, I'm excited.
On this old masterpiece. So he has restored this, and this is gonna go back to its home. It's hooked up to the tractor. We're gonna fire that thing up, run it with PTO.
Dog.
Puppy.
Puppy. Hi, puppy.
Justin, this was really cool.
I appreciate y'all coming out. I enjoyed it.
This is right up our alley.
Yeah.
We're really excited. We will leave a link to the Kickstarter.
Appreciate anybody that can help. It's gonna hopefully put grain mills in communities a lot faster. That's what I'm trying to do.
This is really awesome.
This is really cool. All right, well, we're gonna take off. Uh-oh, wrong hand here.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
See you later.
Yep.
Just gonna sit there and stir that?
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. So it doesn't burn.
It's starting to smell like grits in here.
Is it good?
Looks like it's a lot thicker than the last time I saw it.
It is.
So you said it a minute ago, how kind of cool it was. Like, we shelled the corn, we ground the corn, and now we're going to eat the corn all in one day.
Yep.
Doesn't get much fresher than that.
It does not.
I was like an absolute terrible vlogger. Bleh.
We are so bad at this,
Oh
y'all.
my gosh. Like, I'm forgetting names after I've already said them. Billy, who was there, Permapastures Farm on YouTube. He lives up the road from Justin. That's how they've like all met each other and how I met them. Yeah, sorry Billy. Terrible YouTuber. We are amateurs at best. Alright, so if he can get this project off the ground, it will be really cool.
Yeah.
The plan is to have a small scale grain mill that a homestead or a group of homesteaders could all get together and get, and you could all grow your grain and have a place to grind it. On that scale, it'd be really cool. And if you know anything about, if you've actually like looked into what grinding your own grains entails, the newer grain grinders, they move so fast that they actually heat up the grain and start to break it down almost immediately. So the shelf life is really
Very short.
very short. If you want to grind your grain and have it last, stone grinding is the way to go. There's not a whole lot of mills out there that still stone grind their flour, their corn. There are a few out there, but for the most part, everybody uses metal burr grinders. It's a lot to get into. It's like it's a rabbit hole you can find yourself. But anyways, that's the plan. So we will leave a link for the Kickstarter.
As well as Justin's and Billy's channels.
Yes, Billy actually talked Justin into doing YouTube because Justin does a lot of really cool stuff that people don't really do anymore. And you know, me being I've been a manual machinist for over a decade, and it's a dying art. And I see what he does, and what he does is even more of a dying trade than what I did. So it's really cool. With that said, I don't know if you've heard the angry cow out behind me outside. She is telling me it's time for evening chores. So I think we're gonna wrap it up right here. All right. We will catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Those are good.
Yep.
They're really good.
Fresh tasting.
Fresh tasting. The corn is actually just like a hint sweet.
Yeah.
I've never had grits like that.
Pretty good.
That's unique.
Cool.
It's really good.